the women that you're talking about that don't exist, they do exist.
No, I didn't say they don't exist.
There.
They're just not in abundance.
So we can't
it's
just,
few and far in between.
Right, but we could say the same thing about men. There's few and far in between men that are really real, like will make a woman feel like a woman. So you got a whole generation of women that are having a hard time being in their feminine energy. Because there's not enough men that are in their male energy.
Okay, like, so define what's male energy in a masculine role.
In my mind.
Yeah.
And I could be wrong. You can correct me if you're the guy here, so you would know. But I think that a man in his male energy is a provider, is a protector, is innately wants to protect, innately wants to provide, is going to just do the things that is required of a man.
I feel like you know what I feel like women in society says a masculine man is a man in servitude to a woman. Whenever I'm doing something for a woman, it's masculine. He's providing, he's protecting, he's opening my door, he's spoiling me, he's making me not have to work. Oh, that's a masculine man. Did you see that? A masculine man is somebody who's in servitude to the woman.
Yeah, we usually see that. That becomes a messaging. A real man is followed by something insert that makes a woman's life easier. Now, I really have an issue with that because you being a man, you being masculine, if you never get with a woman, if you never marry, you never have a girlfriend, you kind of just live your life for yourself. It doesn't make you less masculine. That just says, hey, I'm not subscribing to this sort of lifestyle. Doesn't make you any less of a man because you refuse to get in line with what society is saying. So we're going to do a deeper dive on this one. Before, like, comment, subscribe, hit the notification bell so you don't miss new uploads. If you're just seeing this and you know you've been subscribed to the channel, shout out to you. Yes, your notification bells, and I harp on it every single time because my day ones that told me, inspired me to create the channel, noticed that, I don't get your notifications. That being said, one of the things that we completely just ignore is that society kind of makes us less masculine, less feminine because societal roles have changed. Well, feminism came and said, all right, you don't have to do this. You have a choice. And also then further kind of condemned women that said, no, I want to be a wife. I want to be a stay-at-home mother. I want to raise my kids. It kind of shamed to condemn them and push them sort of further out. Ostracize, you shame to make them feel like their choices are wrong. Neither here nor there. The point of that is saying that it's not so much that men have to make you more feminine. You're not really taught what that means. When you're growing up in single parent homes, you don't have the opportunity to demonstrate, right? This is what a man is good for. This is the benefit of having a man around. There's no man around, or there's many men around. Or when you have to, as a woman, take on the role of disciplinarian and nurturer and, provider, you get burnt out. So what's left is what's left to raise the kids, and kids are watching it by example. There's no room for femininity in there. We can do the chicken or the egg dance as we keep going further and further back. Well, why isn't the man there? Yeah, there's a large subset of men that said, I'm not going to do that. They got you pregnant because they wanted access to you, nothing else, and just kind of dipped. And they did it to multiple women, and those men should be, condemned. I've said it on the channel. I've made a whole video about that. But the point is, where we are here and now doesn't really care so much about how we got here. It's just that this is the current status. Your women are less feminine and they're more masculine because men haven't been masculine, or because this is kind of what society, when we say this society that is patriarchal, it's as men go out and work. Part of you becoming masculine happens in the workforce, happens when you having to do the things that you hate, that you find abhorrent, when you have to go in, you have to give your time and labor for this. You have to exist in structures that have male bosses or female bosses, but where your productivity is paramount. You want to be recognized. You want to get ahead. Well, I need you to produce more. That's very masculine. Set aside your feelings, set all that aside, work, produce. Very masculine. Our society shapes you if you lean more in these masculine tendencies and traits, you will find success. When you compete with other people, competition in that sort of regard for productivity, for being known to be the best in this or that realm, yeah, that tends to be more masculine. Testosterone kind of pushes that out of us. We compete. Some of us really enjoy the competition. Some of us can't turn it off. Where you playing a Mario Kart with your kid and you just simply destroy him. Well, yeah, he's got to learn, right? Let him learn the way I learned, right? Getting destroyed in competition through your father. This is what it is. This is how society kind of pushes you. It's not incumbent, or it's the easier person to blame to say, well, we're more masculine because there's not men that are masculine. Even if I am masculine and I come across you, what does me being masculine do to alleviate the pressures of the larger society that forces you down this road? It makes men, it puts men in a position where if I don't alleviate all the pressures that made you this way, you don't have a shot at being feminine. But you've been this way all your adult life. All your life, you've been geared and pushed this way because you're independent. You can take care of yourself. You meet a man that's actually masculine, according to his terms, not the way you define it, because female definition masculinity tends to be things that alleviate their life, things that make their life significantly easier, not anything else due to that man. Oh, it has very little to say that discipline makes is one of those masculine tendencies and traits. His competitive nature and spirit that bolsters him to go further and further heights. No, it's the results of those that you're more concerned with. It doesn't matter if you're presented with a masculine man, there's no switch that can turn these things off that have been there because of time. I can't be just masculine in front of you and you revert or eliminate 10 to 15 years of masculinity rewarding you with a paycheck, with a promotion, with success. You can't, there's no flipper, there's no switch for that. It's either you were taught how to be that, you reinforced it over time with your own behaviors, your own thoughts. That's what makes you feminine. That's what at least unlocks that in you or reinforces what's already been taught to you. It's not men's fault that you're suddenly this way. No, you've been this way for a number of years. It's almost like if you're telling someone, I need you to break this habit. You've been doing this all your life. I need you to stop that immediately because you're in front of me. That we can understand conceptually that doesn't work at all. Putting it on men makes it sound simple. When you put it on men, and then even if, just follow me, even if those men around you were being more masculine, you don't have the ability to suddenly be feminine. So it's still the man's fault. Now he's not masculine enough. He's not doing enough because you still have masculine traits and tendencies in you. He just can't be there to eliminate it. Well, he can make me feel softer and then I can release this. How long is it going to take you to do that? When we say with the convention psychologically, you need a little more than half the time of your relationship to get over that. How long would you take first to eliminate more of this masculinity in you without having it reinforced by going outside in the world and still doing the same things that taught you to be masculine? I'd have to eliminate you from the workforce first and foremost. Logically, realistically, I'd have to surround you with femininity. You don't have that in your life. You don't have sisters, mothers, aunts that are feminine. How would I legitimately make you more feminine? That's not a role or it's not a responsibility that I can alleviate you of. You either are that or you're not. And as long as we both sides realize this and stop trying to put it on men, say, yeah, this is why we're not like that because you guys don't go to war. You guys don't build houses. You guys don't change tires. Society has largely shifted from that. We used to give people the skills in schools. Hey, you got to learn how to do this. You got to learn to do this. Now we become further and further away from that for economic reasons, for societal reasons, whatever. But you have to actually go in looking for this trade. You want these skills, you want a carpenter, electrician, a plumber, you got to go seek these things out. And then you'll have the ability to do those. but realistically, we know we have a stigma on those professions too. We want the high powered CEOs, but we also want him to be able to build us a house. This is not when you leave masculinity to be defined by the opposite gender, you're going to find yourself in servitude. And most men are looking and saying, "There's no way I'm not a man because I don't want to simply do and make your life easier. That doesn't define me, and that doesn't define what my purpose on this planet was." It's just the same way when men tell women, "You're only here to make babies." It diminishes everything else that you've got going on in life. Your entire potential reduced down to something that just said, "This is what you're supposed to do." You get the ability to define your life and say what makes sense for you. If you want to be more feminine, then that's work you're going to have to do. And I mean real work, not something that you can just journal about and say, "Well, I kind of hope I'm this way." If you weren't taught these skills, you weren't taught this how to be soft in this way, it'll take you a long time to learn it. It'll take you an even longer time to let go of these masculine traits. No man in front of you is going to be able to teach you that or do that for you or make your life softer. You're still going to be the same person you were, regardless of who's sitting across from you at dinner. Listen, if you think I missed something, let me know down in the comments. If you see videos on your screen right now, it means I'm doing my job. Take a look at those. Let me know your thoughts about those videos, of course. And if you have not subscribed, you know the train is moving. We're just trying to pay the rent. I'll see you in the next one.